I think there are three ways this is happening. The first are the lessons learned sessions. These are being repeated in several classes, where we're talking directly about the lessons they learned as a team and how these can apply to the broader course objectives. So that's the first and very, very direct way.
The organization is the first thing that breaks down when things come under pressure, because there's this desire to engage in action, even if that action is misdirected or we don't really understand why we want to do that, and that the failure points are going to be technology. They're going to be the morale of the individuals involved.
The second way is it's going backwards and informing the reading they've already done. A number of elements that they had read about didn't really click until they'd experienced some aspects of them. Things like the importance of weather and terrain. We've read about the importance of terrain a lot. And yet it didn't figure into their thinking, as they themselves said, until they'd experienced it in person.
Knowing the terrain beforehand is key, but seeing those maps was helpful, but seeing the terrain on a map and seeing it in person are two very different things, which I really realized once we got there.
And the third, as I'm hoping to see in the coming weeks, is it's going to inform the debates on contemporary security environments that we're going to be having in these classes.
Even though you have higher technology, doesn't necessarily guarantee a win. It depends on the people you're fighting against, their incentive, the terrain you're on. There's a lot of different factors that can go into whether or not you win. You have to be able to face all of those factors.
I don't think that our strategy changed as much as it should have. I mean, we had this plan that we initially laid out, and with the 4 different groups attacking at different spots. And that held for, I think about 30 minutes. And then after that, it sort of turned into a free-for-all and our strategy dissolved.
A lot of the time, your perspective is really based on where you directly are. And so you might think I didn't know at one point if we were winning or losing, and apparently we were crushing them just because I was in the field in a standoff kind of, and so I didn't really know that people were scoring until I looked at my phone and saw that people were.
The war is all of these things. And this doesn't always reflect in the narrative. So when we're studying war, when we're studying people's experience of war especially, that's a really, really important point. That where you stand is what your perspective is, and your entire narrative is shaped solely by that.
Being a student in this peace and conflicts class, it really gives me a sense of what it actually would be like. Instead of just reading it, it gives you a deeper understanding of the idea of peace and conflict.